All right.
Oh shit.
Hey, hi, hello, welcome to Space Couch. My name is Brian. We're going to try out the new talk show format today. I'm very excited, not only because my first guest is somebody that, I'm a big fan of musically, because he's just a kind of a machine for output and reinvents himself, if that's even fair to say. We'll get into that, but I I love him on that level, and just a personal friend to boot. So this one's I got narcissistic right off the bat just because I wanted to hang out with him. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daniel Belasco. Hey, what's up, man?
Hello.
Awesome, thank you. Welcome to Space Couch. I appreciate
Nicer
you.
in space.
What's that?
Warmer in space than it is in Toronto right now.
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up because while I reside in space, you have
Yes.
just made a big old move to Toronto
Yeah.
from St. Catharines, yeah?
Yeah, it's not a huge move because, St. Catharines isn't that far away. But the biggest part about it is that it's like a transitional period. So, all my studio stuff is in storage right now.
Oh, really?
And I've got my computer and like a MIDI controller and stuff, so I'm working totally in the box right now. But soon enough, everything will be up and running, and I can crank out all the awesome synth pop stuff that everybody loves so much.
That's funny. I moved to, well, obviously I spend most of my time in space, but
Yeah,
when I'm in Earth, we moved to Boston recently, and that was the first thing I did. Like, there's like kind of a bed and kind of drawers, but like I have to have at least a working laptop to make
Yeah.
sound. It's like
Yeah.
lifeblood. So is it? I mean, uh, do you find Toronto like seeping in, like, meaning, like, I used to live in Chicago, and that was there was always sort of there was this like kind of rhythm to it, and I have a little bit more of like a woodsy, like I'm kind of removed from the main part of the city here. Do you find that affects you at all, or are you pretty insular in terms of how you write? Does that make sense?
Well,
Like-
seeing as how like most of the people that I deal with musically weren't from St. Catharines, and a good chunk of them are from Toronto itself. Now the only major change is that now it's easier to get together with them.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And Toronto, I played more shows in Toronto than I played in my own city, like in St. Catharines. So the biggest change, outside of like personal things, is that it's just easier for me to get to things.
That's awesome, man. That's
It's no longer an hour and a half drive or whatever away. It's like a 15 to 25-minute TTC ride or subway ride or whatever to a lot of places. And like the Toronto scene in general has always been a pretty big part of what I'm doing. So it's just a matter now of it being more convenient.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool.
So there you go.
Oh, no, that was great. That was great. Well, speaking of you and music now, obviously you started out with, and I first knew you from Defense Mechanism.
Yeah, way back.
And then unleashed the neon satanic bomb onto the world that was Glass Apple BONZAI. Now, up on your Bandcamp, you have Razorback Hollow.
Yeah, that's going even more way back.
Tell me about that.
In like, I don't know, 2005, when Defense Mechanism had been a band already for like a year or two, almost 2 years. I was working on demos for what would be our first album. Because like we had a collection of songs that we played live, but there was a whole bunch of stuff we needed to write, like new. And I wrote a couple of songs that basically sounded like a combo between, you know, early 90s Frontline and like later 80s Front 242.
That sounds awesome.
And I even went as far as to like, I sequenced them on like, you know, like an old Pentium 1 computer using like some copy of Cubase that I pilfered from somewhere, you know.
Right.
Made primarily with hardware because I'm one of those masochists. And it just, you know, it didn't fit the defense mechanism stuff. So I was like, oh, let's call it this other thing and name it after the cemetery where Pumpkinhead resides in the Pumpkinhead movie.
That's
it sounds super fucking daunting and cool and shit. So I just that was it.
Now that's out in the world, like you unearthed for people to check out.
Yeah, I was like looking around for stuff to release because I wanted money from people, and no, it's just the stuff had been sitting there for a really long time. Like I'd finished a 4-song EP, like I don't know, years ago or whatever, and it just sat there, and there was never really any way to. There was no spot for me to put it because it wasn't ever a project that I was going to like keep going with. I was never going to play it live. It was just sort of like I did this thing, and here it is, and whatever. And then I was just like, yeah, you know, I have a pretty decent fan base with the bonsai stuff, so let's see what they think about it. So I put it out, and all these people have like bought it and shit, and they're all about it. So in like 2 nights, about a week before I moved out of my last apartment, I finished a couple of new tracks and decided to release them as like a new Razorback Hollow single.
That's so awesome.
Because continuity isn't really the name of my game, right? It's just like, oh, here's something that I wrote like a decade ago or more.
You got a motor in you, man. That's pretty awesome. I want to jump in for just 1 second. We already have a little bit of a celebrity party. Dan from Vein Collector says, hey. Cy from Science Fiction says, what's up? And Syrinx from Syrinx says, this episode of Space Couch is so effing serious.
He's absolutely correct. It's so effing serious.
That was so great. For the uninitiated, this is like the best thing that ever happened to me. I got trashed pretty good on a podcast, and Daniel remixed it in like 20 minutes or something. It was
very quick. It was very fast. Yeah.
It was so good. Oh, what's up, Robert from...
And I just recently met Syrinx for real when I was in Virginia at Goth Night in Charlottesville. And I think he told me that, and Syrinx, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the only reason that my remix got out first was because you were at work or something.
Yeah, it was...
And I was at home. It was like a finish line, photo finish. It was just like...
I mean, what's up to Robert from Cobalt Core in the place? But the... you and Syrinx and a guy named Cygnus just
right out of the gate.
It was like so good.
That was awesome because I was kind of like, you know what? Instead of wanting to beat the shit out of these people for bad mouthing my buddy, I'm gonna use them to my advantage.
I don't know if they've heard it or not, but like it just such magic came out of that.
It was so great.
Speaking of magic through collaboration, I am wildly excited about this Valhall thing.
Okay, so Martin and I have this really incongruous, like, we share this love for old country, and it's not as weird for me because, like, you know, I'm from Southern Ontario, and there's...
Oh, Marco's here, sorry. Marco Visconti is up in the room.
Hey, Barcode Discounty. I haven't talked to that guy in ages. Hello, Marco. So anyways, I find it really hilarious that like a Swedish guy is like into old country tunes, like like Jerry Reed and all that stuff, right? So we exchanged bits here and there, that we should do a cover of, some Jerry Reed and some other stuff or whatever. So now we've decided that we're going to do dark synth pop covers of like old gunfighter ballads and like, old classic country tunes and call it the Neon Railroad.
Oh, give me the name one more time.
Neon Railroad.
That just tastes good. Oh, that's in my esophagus right now. Okay, now it's in the tummy. Good stuff, man.
It's digesting. It's good.
That's funny. Like, yeah, I will put on like real cinematic spaghetti western stuff if like I need to get some like work done.
Oh God, I love the old westerns. And what I really like is that in like sort of like the mid to later part of the '80s, the whole like alt new wave scene started adapting western things. So we had Walla Voodoo always sort of had that thing going on for them, like a little bit of western and bits here, but it just seemed to be a thing, and like Bill Paxton's band, Martini Ranch, and all that kind of stuff. And there was like in the goth era too, there was like the cowboy goths like Fields of the Nephilim and shit like that. So there's always that sort of western thing,
right? That
Americana, So we'll throw that in there.
That's dope.
All aboard the Neon Railroad.
Because Glass Apple, correct me if I'm wrong, but that started as kind of a goth rock thing, or like a death rocky edge.
Yeah. So I had the name kicking around. So I don't know if I ever told you the story about like where I got the name from.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Space Couch exclusive: the origin of Glass Apple Bonsai.
I've told other people, so don't feel too special. So, anyways,
I just want you to like me.
Mechanism, right? We were playing a show in Hamilton, Ontario, and that night was kind of weird. Like, like I had just broken up with my girlfriend at the time, and I almost got in a fight with a giant biker dude who totally would have killed me.
Jesus, it's a movie right there.
It was nuts. And so on the way out of the venue, though, there was like all this stuff laying on a stoop near like the staircase for this apartment above the venue. And amongst it was like, a snare drum, a hi-hat stand that was like bent over, a reel-to-reel machine, which I still have, and this strange ornamental plant that was like made of glass and metal and shit. It looked like a bonsai tree with like apples on it. So I was just like trying to explain it to somebody that it's a glass apple bonsai tree. And I remember thinking, oh, I got to use that for something. So I had the name kicking around.
That's cool.
And it just didn't attach itself to anything. Like I started the goth rock thing, which eventually became the Necromancers Union, which is another shelved project of mine. And then
he's a machine, this guy.
Some other stuff, and it's like finally I started getting into the synth wave thing, and I'm like, well, I got to call it Glass Apple Bonsai because that's just too fucking cool. And I can harp on that like Japanese imagery from what I call the apology era, which is when the United States was embracing Japanese immigrants and their own Japanese people because they treated them like absolute fucking trash in the Second World War. And they're kind of like, yeah, okay, we're sorry, we bombed 2 places in your country with nukes,
Wow.
And of course, you remember the 80s, ninjas and Karate Kid, man. Ninjas everywhere. Karate Kid.
So good. Did you see that? Sorry.
Everywhere.
Do you see that Karate Kid like reboot or like second chapter they made on YouTube?
Oh, you mean the continuation? Like
not reboot's the wrong word because they did that with one of the Smith kids, but like with Ralph Macchio and like everybody.
Yeah. I haven't seen. I saw the first episode because I think you have to like subscribe to their service.
I would. It was so for dudes of our age. Like Karate Kid was like religious for me, right?
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It is so good. Like
awesome.
Whatever they want for it, I can't recommend it enough. I didn't know Glass Apple went that deep with. You don't still have the tree, do you?
I still have the tree. Yeah, it's actually in storage right now.
Oh, that is so dope! You have the actual Glass Apple tree.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool, man.
At some point, I'm going to feature it as the on like an album cover. When I finally get around to doing a best of, it'll just be like that on the cover. Be like, here's where it all started. This is the beginnings of the Glass Devil Bonsai.
We're gonna bring Space Dog on for just a little bit. So there's
Space Dog.
Yes. Oh, you're such
Space Dog.
You just got sung to. Got your own theme. Okay, we'll see you later. Thank you for saying
all
to
dogs
my dog.
should have their own theme.
Oh man. Well, maybe. You are a pet owner, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. Yeah, I have a dog, and my girlfriend has 2 cats.
Oh man, so there's 3 tracks on Neon Railroad right there.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because
that's the opening track is I have a dog and my girlfriend has 2 cats.
Dude, dance hit right there. Military Fashion Show Part 2. You just heard it.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna start a new band called And Two.
And Two. Do you remember like those knockoff? They were like when every shirt had like a pithy slogan on it in 1998. Yeah. There was a brand of like basketball shirt that said it was and one.
Yeah.
That was like what a weird pairing of German synth pop superstars and like urban street ball. Yeah. But so
German synth pop superstars that cancel almost more shows than Morrissey.
Oh my God! And one is the German Morrissey.
The German Morrissey. Ugh.
Anyway. Yeah, we'll have to get their stance on like meat and animal products and stuff like that. But yeah. So you're pushing like 6 or 7 projects right now?
I wouldn't say pushing. Pushing sounds like I'm putting effort into them.
Cold forehead and one socks. That's so dope.
I'll go through these periods where I just write a whole bunch of shit and I record a whole bunch of stuff. Get it in my head that I want to do like a gothic rock project or whatever, and I'll write and record like 6 or 7 songs all within a very short amount of time, and then I'll just sort of lose interest in it. Yeah. And it'll sit there, and then people are like, man, you write so much, and it's like, well, there's lots of times where I'm just doing nothing but playing Star Wars pinball on my computer.
Well, you do that thing where like 3 remixes you did sometimes 5.5 years ago just get released, and then you look like a super prolific dude. But
yeah, you're like, no, I did them like ages ago.
But I wanted to ask, when you're not crushing it in music, what do you do? So we got Star Wars Pinball.
Yeah, Star Wars Pinball, and eating.
Okay, all right. What what are you enjoying these days?
Eating
in culinary world, yeah.
Sushi.
Okay.
French fries in a variety of different forms and cut with different coverings. Potatoes. Actually, basically just potatoes and sushi. That's really like all I'm eating right now.
Give me the Dan Belasco. You know how you check the little boxes on the sushi at the sushi place?
Oh, okay.
Give me the first 3 rolls you check.
Well, so typical California roll, definitely.
Okay.
And then at this one restaurant in St. Catharines called Big Tuna, they have this like chocolate banana roll, which is a dessert roll. So it's like a roll. It contains no seafood at all. It contains banana, cream cheese, and it's like drizzled in chocolate. So while not at all traditional in any way, still delicious.
Awesome.
And I really like anything with, that K-Rab, the fake crab spelled with a K. Or it looks like crab, it tastes like crab.
Oh, right.
It's K-Rab.
It's when people ask you what's in it, your voice has to go up an octave, meaning like crab.
Yeah. What's in this?
Yes.
Tastiness.
it's it's
Flavoring?
it's the equivalent of that rat burger in Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting my Demolition Man poll. Jesus Christ.
Well, dude, I mean, come on, look who you're talking to.
Yeah, I
Our
mean,
entire
there's
existence relies entirely upon fucking cultural references of slightly obscure but yet still hugely popular movies.
the what I realized recently is the movie opens in like the near future and then it gets into like crazy future with
Yeah.
set Taco Bell and all that shit. The near future is the distant year 1996. Like
Yes.
it turns so fast, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're past a lot of old science fiction movies.
so much.
Like way past.
I mean,
You know.
oh, Angel's here. Awesome.
Yes. Hello, Angel.
The
Hello, Angel Metro. Hello.
well, what got a lot of coverage in social media recently was obviously Blade Runner. But
Oh yeah, yeah. That we have like a month to start dressing totally different.
we gotta really ramp it up for Blade Runner. 2017 was was Running Man.
Yes.
I don't feel we're
2015
far
was
off from
Back to
that.
the Future 2.
What's that?
2015 was Back to the Future Part 2.
Was 2015 Back to the Future Part 2?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And then
Well,
4 years ago. 4
three-
years ago was the future and Back to the Future Part 2.
2015, I look at as like Pepperidge Farm remembers. Like it's so far in the rearview mirror.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh, man.
Back to the Future's projected future was 4 years ago.
I mean, well, do you remember when you were 12 and like 2 years ago was like astronomical, like this unfathomable amount of time?
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'm quoting things that just happened to me and I realized, oh, that was 22 years ago.
Well, like when I was a kid, next year was an insufferable amount of time to pass.
Oh, yeah.
Now, next year is how long it takes me to realize that I only have until next year to do something.
Well, that is the mark of a prolific man.
It's like I sit worrying about that I only have a year, and a year goes by.
Daniel,
like, oh shit!
Bless you, you are the king of setups. Because the next thing I wanted to ask is what is next for the big DXB? Like, is it Glass Abbey? Is it this Neon Railroad thing?
Drugs.
Drugs.
No.
All right. Are you doing like old timey Wild West drugs for the Neon Railroad? Like
laudanum and morphine?
Yeah, you're gonna develop a Dilaudid habit.
Yeah. No. What's next? Oh, I don't know. I don't really know. Because I don't have my full studio set up, so I think what Steve, my regular bandmate, and I have discussed that we want to do. We want to start putting out some like instrumental synthwave stuff. Mostly just because I don't really have the capacity to record a lot of vocals in my current situation.
Oh, that's a shame. Because you got golden voice.
Not anything on the level where like so the next Bonsai album is on hiatus for the time being until I can get my full studio set up, because vocally that one's a pretty high workload. Like lots of big ELO style vocal harmonies and all sorts of shit going on. So I'm not really in a situation to finish all that with the aplomb that I need to finish it. However, I can do other stuff in the interim, so we're going to do some instrumental things, and I might do a couple of one-off vocal songs that aren't as vocal heavy but are still good nonetheless. So it's just sort of up in the air, but it's Bonsai's the focus for sure. Glass Level Bonsai's like the thing, because I need to get some stuff out this year because it's been too long since I released a full-length album. So there you go.
That's awesome. Do you feel... I've been sort of wrestling with this, and this isn't a fully formed thought, so this might be fucked up, but like I could be functionally happy releasing just EPs for the rest of my life, but I don't know if I could do it emotionally because I sort of need that album. Like, boom, here's the fucking album. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's
I
it's
think
tricky.
I'm on board for doing both.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like a few songs right now that were gonna be on the next album, but I've decided not to because they just now that I've demoed almost everything for the new full length, and some of the songs that I've got in it, they just don't fit the flavor. But I don't want to just like shelve them and hide them. I mean, because my fans want to hear them. So I've decided, let's just do a little EP and call it something like Brr, the EP.
I
You
mean,
know, and
Brr is a great. I mean,
yeah.
that's the dance floor smash, man.
So just do, it's like three, maybe four songs or five or even whatever. I see an EP as being between like 25 and 30 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
give or take, whatever.
Right.
And I don't like to pollute my own stuff with like 1,000 different remixes by all the guys in the industrial crowd that will remix shit for free. So it'll just be like those songs and maybe some like 10-minute instrumental song or whatever just to close out the thing. Because EPs are a little bit more freeing. You really don't have to adhere to any cohesion between the songs at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes it easier for someone like myself that has songs that just don't fit anywhere else. Just put them all together and be like, here you go. Here's an EP of songs that mean nothing. So, and then it clears out, it sort of trims the fat away from the songs I'm working on for the next full-length album, right? So it's sort of it's a part and parcel, and it also helps to bridge the gap between like the last album, the couple of singles that I have released in the last like few months or year or whatever, and what I have coming out as my next full-length. Like it's pure self, what's the word I'm looking for? It's pure service for me to release albums because I like to release a full album. I like to do it, like to work towards the whole thing, get the artwork done, release it through the label, give it the full treatment and all that stuff. It's just totally like that's always what I've wanted to do, so I'm just going to keep doing it because I want to. But EPs are a little bit easier for the masses to gobble up, and it also gives them stuff that's more immediate too. Because they're not sitting there waiting for a full length for how many months. You've just given them some stuff that is good and that they like and that they don't have to like pay a whole lot of attention to. They can just consume it like they do, and I love them for it. And yeah, so there you go.
Well, dope. I want real quick shouts out to Michael Bashel. Virtual Terrorist is here. And also, what's up to Old Ass Retro Gamer?
Virtual Terrorist. I don't know if I've heard of him. Is he this? Oh, I see. It's Chris of the Croix.
Yes, well, Tiger Squawk Records is own. Speaking of record labels, is Glass Apple still doing Artifact stuff or?
Yeah, the next full length is going out on Artifact.
Cool, man. Cool.
But you have to say with a slight Irish accent because it sounds a little bit more jolly.
Oh, I've been doing it wrong for so long. Thank you.
People are like, what label are you? I'm like, I'm on Artifact.
Artifact.
You see, they pay me in potatoes.
Which we now know. You are a patron of. So you said you're going to demo it out. Like, what can we expect? I mean, you don't need to do a complete spoiler, but like, how is it the new album sounding?
It sounds like music.
Okay. All right.
No, it's
you heard it here first, Glass Apple.
You heard it here first, folks. The new album is songs.
So yeah, he's not just miking up a Dremel.
Christopher Pico, who left a message, Glass Buckaroo Bonsai. Very much so. Yes.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. The way that I spell bonsai is a hybrid of the real spelling of bonsai and the Buckaroo Bonsai.
Oh, well done, Pico. Oh,
and if you look at the cover art for the first Bonsai album, it is an homage to the comic book ads for Buckaroo Banzai. So I'm not hiding it. That movie
That's cool, man.
Is very important.
Well, I mean, you could say that we're both Lectroids.
We are. We are
So
electroids. Yeah.
so we're
So what? Big deal.
Have you seen any movies that we should know about?
What's that?
Have you seen any movies recently we should know about?
Um. Well, let's see. Um. I just recently watched. So I'm on this thing now where I'll watch episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000, and then I will go and seek out the movie that they're shitting on and watch it.
Damn.
Because there's a lot of like real crap that came out in the 80s. And it's enjoyable crap to me.
Yeah.
So like this one movie is called, oh shit, I can't remember the name of it. I just recently watched it. It's got like
Christopher will know.
it's got Ray Don Chong in it. It's got let me just look it up here.
Yeah, sure. That's cool. I mean, we have an infinite amount of time. I do. I'm in space, so
yeah,
like
well, you
it's
literally
gonna
have
curve eventually.
Yeah.
But
It came out in like 1980. It's called City Limits.
Okay.
And it has John Stockwell, who was in My Science Project,
Oh.
and he was also in Top Gun very briefly at the beginning. James Earl Jones, Kim Cattrall is in it.
What?
And Kane Hodder, actually, who played Jason, he's in it as like a gang member.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
It came out in 1984, and it's a sci-fi action drama. I'd say sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like one of those like schlock movies that came out. You know, it just isn't very good.
Hyperspace.
Super entertaining, and I love it.
Awesome.
So, but I found that through Mystery Science Theater 3000 because they were making fun of it, and I was like, wait a minute, that's an 80s movie. So City Limits and
City Limits. I'll put it on my list, man.
Yeah, and like I don't know, what have I watched recently? Like I watched like the Solo movie, the Star Wars Solo.
Missed it.
I watched I don't know, man. I've been watching a lot of 80s commercial compilations on YouTube. That's like
That sounds awesome. Laser Blast is great, Michael. I wanna shunt back into music in just a second, but bringing up 80s commercials is fascinating because I think few things are a better sign of the times than
oh man, they're so indicative of the times.
Commercials of the day. So give me a taste, like what jumped out at you in your 80s commercial sojourn?
Okay, so the biggest thing for me was a combination of the old Levi's commercials that were animated.
Okay.
All right, and there was a whole bunch of different ones, and the old Twizzlers commercials with like the animated mouth and the lips, and then there was, because in Canada and in the UK and like everywhere else in the world except for the United States, Smarties are chocolate, right? And there used to be these commercials called for Smarties where it's when you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? And there was these really cool, like sort of sci-fi ones in the mid to late '80s here in Canada. That, like, when I see them, I remember every single second of those commercials.
Oh, right.
Like every single version of them, right? And then there's the bumpers for Saturday morning cartoons, like after these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah, and there's that shit, and. Yeah, man.
That's pretty.
Now the new Cobra G.I. Joe playset. And you're like,
yeah, and just the two kids who are maniacally excited and have this amazing setup in their backyard.
Absolute fucking carnage too. Like they should be working for the military planning attacks on their enemies because these kids, they know how to fight.
Oh, yeah.
They are military strategists. Like, they are like, yeah, if you come in from this way, wow, take that, Cobra. Yeah.
I feel like if that commercial came out today, people would be like, why are the kids outside? That makes no sense.
Can't they control those from their iPad while they're indoors in their safe plastic bubbles? How dare they go outside? Don't they know the sun can kill them? Which reminds me a whole hell of a lot of, in the old Paul Verhoeven movies, like RoboCop and Total Recall and
Hell yeah.
all those phony satirical commercials and TV shows and shit that he would throw into his movies to like make fun of culture at the time. And the one from RoboCop where it's like, it's like that suntan lotion that's basically just like blue paint. That now you can go out in the sun for 15 whole minutes.
We're sharing a brain. I was just about to go there because Heidi and I just saw it. They show B movies and burgers here in Boston. And it's RoboCop 2 that the SPF 5000 is from.
Yes, yeah.
And the tagline is frequent use will cause skin cancer.
Skin cancer, yes. And that's basically like where we're at right now. They're like, yeah, so all these sun lotions and stuff that you've been using, these sunblocks, yeah, they're giving you fucking cancer too. And you're like, great. Great. You know what? Cancer is like a mail order fucking... Cancer is like those Tide samples you get in the mail. Okay? Right? Like, everyone's gonna get it. It's just a matter of when. You're either gonna get that or you're gonna get a Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes fucking letter.
They're the AOL 23 minutes diskettes of 2019.
It's like an AOL diskette. Sent to you in the mail.
If you take nothing else away from this episode of Space Couch, it's that cancer is like...
You've got cancer. Wow.
Oh.
That went south real quick.
So it's only going to get darker.
It's just going to get weirder, everybody. I hope you know, like Brian and I have prepared for this. We knew that we were going to have a warm-up time. And, we got an angry emoji.
Well,
let the hate flow through you.
Yes, well, talking of dudes will occasionally devolve into weirdness. And I mean 1,000% of the time.
1,000. 10,000 billion.
Oh, yeah. But RoboCop 2, to watch it in 2019 was weird because it's based on the insane, unbelievable premise that one day a city, like a corporation, will become powerful enough to buy a city. That would never happen. And,
you mean letting Detroit go to ruins? So that
it was just unfathomable, right?
Oh my God. I mean, like the fact that there's people in that area that still can't drink their water. I mean, come on. What a strange projection of the future.
Right. And the government is this totally impotent, ineffective,
yeah. So basically what we're saying is that a good 60% of old science fiction movies are woefully correct.
Yeah, it is. Well,
I mean, to be honest, Running Man ain't exactly that far off.
It's not that far off from reality. Now,
nope.
Maybe one day Bruce Campbell can run the Plastic Surgery Hall of Horrors in Escape LA, and we can all go surf down like a fucking...
Man, okay, you know what? I love John Carpenter movies.
So good.
That movie sucked hot ass.
Dude,
okay,
I want to revisit it.
So fucking bad. I mean, it was cool seeing all of those people in it, like all the cameos, and it's always cool to see Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken, right? But it was just like, holy fucking 90s, Hoss. Like, wow.
Not even Gravity Kills on the soundtrack could save Escape LA.
Almost. Gravity Kills on the soundtrack is like, that's your 1990s starter kit right
now. You have your choice of 3 songs for your...
Yeah. You have Guilty, Blame, or...
What was it? Yes. There was like a real distant bronze medal, and I don't remember what it was, but...
yeah, but...
Juno Reactor on that
bronze
single.
medal for Gravity Kills. That's fake bronze. Like it's
you gotta bite that one.
Without spray paint. It's just wood. Oh man.
So with all this
that band.
What's that?
That band.
I saw him recently because there was like like a 57-member Pigface show in
Yes.
Chicago, and the Gravity Kills guy came out and did Guilty. We're like, what? But
Yeah. Wow.
it was pretty crazy. Speaking of music, what have you been listening to these days?
The big thing on repeat lately is an album called I'm just the artist is called Starcadian.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and the album is called I'm really bad with albums for some reason. Midnight Signals. I should have known that. Anyways, this guy he's a solo artist, and he actually works in I think special effects for big movies.
Okay.
And he does music on the side, and the music's really excellent. But he says that he likes to write scores basically to non-existent movies. So this one is
Cool.
Midnight Signals, the original motion picture score, but there is no movie. It's just
That's dope, dude.
And he just released a new like little EP called Deep Cuts, which is like various different versions of songs off of Midnight Signals. So really cool, like synth wave, almost soul a little bit. There's a real Lionel Richie flair to a couple of the tunes.
Get out. Okay, I am picking this up real quick.
Yeah, there's some real funk in a couple of the tunes, lots of emotion and mood. Cool ass shit.
Cool, man.
So I've been listening to that. I've been listening to just like a smattering of synthwave acts like the Midnight FM 84, Lost Years, my homegirls, Dana Jean Phoenix and Mecca Mike, who are from here in Toronto. And
yeah, that was... We played a show with her in Toronto, like, last year. Oh, Corey Gorski's up in the place.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto Zone. Speaking of Toronto, your message is very well timed, Corey. And, you know how it is when, like, you're talking with your buddy or whatever, and then, like, that band starts up, and you're like, whatever the fuck we were talking about, just bookmark that, because this is amazing. That was Dana Jean Phoenix for me.
Remember way back. Sherman set the Wayback Machine to 2015, or 2013, actually.
That's very good, man.
And I'm at Terminus, meeting Brian Brain Grabber Gropner for the first time. And both you and we're talking about some bullshit that completely, like, just some random bullshit.
That's
completely unfathomable. Klaus Larson goes up on stage and starts just cranking out some leather strip, and you and I are like, the words.
Yeah.
They don't mean anything.
Well,
whoa. Like, that was our bonding moment. We forgot everything we were talking about, and we were just, like, mesmerized by how one guy, who admittedly was a little bit chunkier at that point,
he looks
was
awesome
up there kicking everyone's ass.
Yeah, he probably... I haven't really ranked my musical heroes, but like definitely on the Mount Rushmore for me is.
Oh, for sure, man.
Just in terms of like, talk about a motor. Holy shit, that guy. But
well, yeah, I mean, like, how many thousands of projects does this guy need to have? It's almost like he's getting greedy at this point. Like, stop making projects, Klaus. Other people need a chance too.
Well, you know, I like to support him and give these new up and coming acts a shot. You know, he'll get there one day.
Yeah, you know, people are just starting to turn around to the whole leather strip, Clute, and then the 45,000 other projects that he has. You know, he's getting up there. You know, like
dude, like I said on the Gothic Moose podcast, also from Canada. You know, it's been too long since he's released an album, meaning 7 seconds.
Yes.
But they're all good. 24
hours.
If it was just like,
"What's up, buddy? Are you sick? Do you
need
help?"
Right. I mean, he could get by on releases of just here's another remix EP of Japanese Bodies, but it's all like this just constant evolution.
That is exactly what I enjoy about his output, is that he doesn't rest upon here's a new version of Japanese Bodies. He's just like, hey guys, I covered some fucking shit and I did a whole album of like Depeche Mode covers. And I did this, and I did these, and I do these, and they all sound excellent, right? Like, it's just, he's a real professional musician. That's it, man.
Yeah,
like, that's what he does. He's prolific.
We could do a separate show
Just
about him. I want to put table Klaus talk for just 1 second because we not only can we go off on that tangent, you have quite a bit going on yourself. Where can we find you on the internet? GA Bonsai on Twitter?
Yeah, Go Bonsai. So on Instagram and Twitter, it's GA Bonsai. On Facebook, it's Glass Apple Bonsai. I no longer have a regular web page anymore because I didn't want to fucking pay money for it. And
the web pages, right?
Well, some people do. Like, I still want one, and I'm looking into a different way of making a real simple one that just like has some music and video that plays, and then it links people to everywhere else. But I mean, you type in Glass Apple Bonsai on in the Google, and I'm the first thing that comes up because of the spelling of the name and everything. And really, like I told somebody at one point, they asked, what would happen if you found out that another band was using your band name? I would be like, unlikely.
Right.
But if they did somehow stumble upon that combination of words using that particular spelling of bonsai,
right,
then I think at that point it's the future me that I'm meeting, and we're just going to shake hands and meld into one project.
I'm gonna F this up, but what's this dimension? Is it 7th dimension on Buckaroo Banzai? The subtitle?
8th. It's the 8th dimension. Yeah.
So that would be the 8th dimension you.
It would be.
Right. They
where in the 8th dimension
matter.
where I'm traveling straight through. So I walk really fast across the salt flats, and I walk directly through a mountain.
Right.
And I come out. I have these like weird, funky things stuck to me, and I release the bad Lectroids.
Although you would pass, instead of just like a mountain or something, you would walk through like an Emax or just some other oscillator.
Yeah.
Shifty Dave is reminding me to get your Bandcamp.
What's that? Who now?
Shifty Dave, Canada's own, is reminding me to get your Bandcamp, the Glass Apple Bonsai.
GlassAppleBonsai.bandcamp.com.
Do you have a preferred store, like iTunes or Bandcamp or any of that?
Bandcamp, almost all of that money goes to me, minus a few. Okay, so I am on a record label,
right?
And they have distribution of the first 3 full albums in digital, and some of the physical merch. But for the most part, any of the singles or any of the small releases, that stuff all goes directly to me. But anywhere, really. I mean, if you want to put my stuff on loop on Spotify, that would be greatly appreciated, because in 250,000 years, I might get $10 from them. iTunes, that stuff comes to me quarterly. So, I mean, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I would prefer it if you just sent me dollars. If you're just like, hey, you make good music. Here's a whole bunch of money.
Well, right. It'll get to you eventually.
We can only wish. We can only dream.
Bandcamp, the internet, if you got the notion. Otherwise, Spotify, iTunes, it's all good.
Literally every streaming platform there is, my stuff is on. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, or pirate it and shoot them $10. Come on.
I don't know. I've had to pirate my own stuff sometimes. So.
I've done it.
Yep. I've done it because I was like, you know what? I don't have a copy of that anymore.
Right.
And it's on this like Russian site. Right. And I'm just going to grab it. You know what? Because the only person I'm hurting is myself. And that's why I'm a musician.
Yeah, or you buy your own stuff from Bandcamp that says supported by this head. Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
Oh,
but I have gifted my own stuff to people through Bandcamp. So I paid for it. And they're like, why can't you just send me the files? I'm like, because this is way more idiotic.
Well, it's cleaner too. Like when you make it, the
it's all
song is
tagged
in
properly.
5 directories across your disk, and like I sent out Shiny Metal Brains underscore shitty version 2.5 or whatever it is. Like
yeah. No one wants to really have to deal with the shit that I titled everything before it got mastered and sent out.
Oh yeah,
I think some of the songs, like I know with the old Defense Mechanism stuff, that I was much more frustrated at that point, and less organized with my files. So the files were like shiny metal, Beba brains is final, fuck you, final, fuck off, fuck you, final version 2010, right. Fuck you, right? It's just like.
Well, I got a little bit of that insight when we did our track. For the uninitiated, Daniel really knocked it out of the park on a track that we did, and he wrote a great musical thing, and then let me make it about Whisperer in Darkness because I love Lovecraft so much. And now I'm in Lovecraft country now here on the east side of the United States, which is fucking great.
That was a weird song because I had written it like fucking ages ago. It was an old Defense Mechanism tune that never went anywhere because the other band members didn't like it, and I was like, you know who will like this? Brian. He has no taste, right?
He likes bullshit.
It was about. I wanted it to be about Brain Scan, the movie Brain Scan with Eddie Furlong, and. And I sent it to Brian, and I'm like, here, write some bullshit for this. And he came back, he out-nerded himself at the time, and wrote this, like, really word-heavy, like, super word-heavy in the lyrics. And I'm surprised that you actually managed to get it out of you. Like, there was a lot of takes, I can tell.
And back to you, because you wanted it to be about scanning brains. Yes. And that's the sort of the crux of the Whisper in Darkness is scanning brains. Yes. So it worked in my mind, pardon the pun, thematically. But you were gracious enough to sort of rework the song 4 times or something like that to kind of make it work with all the bullshit that I'd thrown in there. So
yeah, there was a few revisions of that song, but that's how it works. You know how it is.
Yeah. But I mean, this started on this idea of many versions of songs, so it was interesting to get my own little window into the motor mind of Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, I think the original title of the song too was something completely fucking unrelated. It was like old school industrial blammo or something. It was like it was just some bullshit that I made up.
Oh yeah,
I always think like when I'm saving song files, I'm always like, I'll give it a name that'll remind me of what it sounds like. Right. In the name never works.
Oh yes,
never. At any point, am I ever like, what is clang boom slang boom slang? And I'll open it and there's nothing that sounds like that in the song. And I'm like, wow, I was off the mark on that. But.
I think the directory for Otter Time started out as tough guy shit. Like I was trying to write some real fucking macho dude thing.
And then it turned into straight up Otter Time.
Then it turned into my love of
otters,
aquatic mammals. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. Yeah. I'm still I'm building up to be able to write a song about my dog.
Okay.
And I think what's going to happen is I'm going to end up writing an EP about my dog.
Oh, this is very exciting because we talked a little bit about animals having themes at the top of the call with the Neon Railroad stuff. Do you foresee this being a Glass Apple thing or just its own? Your name of the dog?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know, Brian.
I'm just sorry. I got so excited about.
Fuck's sake.
Because I could do like an EP easy about my dog just because there's so much emotion that comes out of that animal.
Yeah. I mean, I sing to my dog all the time, right? Like, she's not here with us right now because the current apartment's too small for her, but eventually she's going to be up here. And there'll be a myriad, videos of me singing to the dog about how much of a dog she is.
You're such a dog.
Yeah, and so there'll be lots of that. I'll just like make this like sort of like dark synth pop album about my dog, about how much of a dog my dog is. And it'll be like track 1, she's really dog. Track 2, seriously, she's like totally dog. So, track 3 will be like, I'm not lying, guys. She's super totally dog.
I'm gonna do a thing here, right?
All right.
So, heretofore, my favorite the Glass Apple albums was the Super Satanic one.
Yeah.
And although on the previous album, you did have a great track called Ballad of the Anti-God. And
yes.
Now I'm going to tie that in because what's God backwards?
Dog.
That's your Anti-God is the Dog album.
Yeah.
We're establishing this like Marvel continuity through your albums.
Well, it may not seem like that much thought has gone into my music, but believe me, I'm the David Lynch of synthwave.
Well, yeah, Penis Banner can make a cameo.
And his brother Dick Banner.
Yeah, we talked earlier about silly things because
Dick Banner is the Credible Hulk.
Yeah, it's his brother, the Credible Hulk, who just he has really normal fishing trips and works in accounting.
And he just states factual stuff all the time. Like people ask him a question, and he just sort of gets right to the point and answers it.
I mean, he's a big guy because there's the Hulk part, but he's 6'2". He's not insane. Like he's very credible.
He's not like 8 feet tall and like 500 pounds of pure like meat bulk muscle. He's just like in shape, and he eats well,
right?
And he takes care of himself, and he's educated, but he's got a philosophy degree, so he also understands what it's like to be unemployed and homeless. So I mean,
Who plays Credible Hulk in the movie?
You do.
Okay, I'm Credible Hulk. All right, sweet.
No, you know what? You know who probably plays Credible Hulk? Chris DeMarcus?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris DeMarcus.
Of Stiff Valentine.
Yeah. Just like a big dude who's well-read.
Right.
Works out on the regular, but doesn't overdo it. Still jacked and stacked, though. Mildly insufferable.
Shifty Dave says Lenny from Xenotype. And I like that a lot. Lenny plays him in in RoboCop 3 they couldn't get
Peter Weller. Yeah.
They couldn't get Peter Weller, so it was Robert Burke, and it just wasn't that's Lenny, despite me loving him, but we're gonna wrap it up in just a second, but I'm gonna get close to the camera because I don't have the More You Know PSA music, but I want to see if we can do a PSA to appeal to Stiff Valentine to make a movie called Credible Hulk.
Oh, absolutely.
This is improv, so I'm gonna start off with a hi, my name is, and then you come in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, this is Brian from the Gossicles.
Hi, I'm Daniel Belasco from Glass Apple Bonsai.
We've seen a lot of superhero movies in this world. And,
it's true, we have. And we've been woefully disappointed with them up until now.
The time has come for the superstars of Weirdo Electro to unite for this special message. Chris.
We are in dire straits. And I'm not talking about Mark Knopfler's band from the 70s and 80s. I'm talking about actual dire straits. We, as the people, are in need of a new superhero, an enlightened superhero, a mildly arrogant superhero. And we think that superhero is you, Chris.
Most of all, we need this superhero to be credible. And
we need him to be knowledgeable, functional, intellectual, and insufferable. Can that be you, Chris DeMarcus of Stiff Valentine?
The more you know. Thank you. All right.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to get on my special thing here, and we're just going to wrap up what I think has been a pretty awesome first talk show type episode of Space Couch. Daniel, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All
In
right.
more ways than one.
What's that?
Nothing.
All right, Black.
It's just an innuendous joke, my friend.
Oh, you're the best.
Oh, you're right. Oh man, the background here looks like we're passing through a nebula.
We are going right past through the Weirdo Nebula
Weirdo nebula.
and Space Couch.